Hello viewers, welcome to another episode of Stay Awesome Van Life. This week we have weight compliance. How much does your van weigh? Is your van overweight? What do all the weights mean? There's more than one weight. There's tar weight, TMB, GTM, ATM, BTC, and that's not Bitcoin, GVM and GCM. Even I'm getting confused. But anyway, watch the video and you'll understand how to make your van compliant.
Yeah, no, I'll just
Okay, too easy.
Oh, thanks, mate. You'll be the star of the show, I think.
Yeah, mate. Face for radio, mate.
So what the question is a lot of people build their own vans out now. You know, like Vanlife?
Yep.
You buy a van, like a maybe delivery van or whatever, and you build it out into a camper van.
Yes.
And the big problem that's worldwide is about weight.
Yeah.
And you're always conscious of it, but it's the compliance now is a lot, obviously come under the spotlight.
Yeah, the biggest thing to know about the weights is you've got to comply with your GVM for that vehicle.
Yeah.
So the GVM is the gross vehicle mass, and you've also got to comply with the front axle load limit, the weight limit on the front axle, and the rear axle as well.
Okay.
So that goes for any tow vehicle. So even if you tow a caravan, you've still got to comply with the GVM for that car.
Yeah.
And the GVM when you're towing a caravan includes the ball weight of the ball weight of the caravan, basically what the ball weight that's putting on the load of the caravan. Yeah. So there is a little bit to know, but in terms of the van life where you have the commercial van like a Fiat Ducato or something, and you turn it into a motorhome, you do still have to get it weighed and know your weight limits of that van. So I think it's about under 4.5 tonne GVM you're allowed to drive on a car licence here in Queensland. Anything over 4.5 tonne you're going to need a light rigid truck licence. Okay, so the main thing is to make sure your GVM and the whole weight of whatever you put in the van is under the 4.5 tonne or is under the GVM for that vehicle. So if you buy a vehicle with the GVM of say 3 tonne or 3.5 tonne, you still got to comply with that. You can get GVM upgrades through certain vehicle engineers, and they will upgrade your GVM to a higher classification. Okay, but whatever that GVM is, that's what you've got to comply with. That's the law. That's the legislation. It's under the Transport Operations, Road Use Management, Vehicle Standards and Safety regulation, and that's where the offences are. That says you've got to comply with the GVM for the vehicle.
Okay, and what's the fine if you're over? Or is there a warning or a fine? No, straight out fine.
In Queensland, it's up to each individual officer's discretion, and that goes for transport and main roads as well. But the fine in Queensland is $275 last time I looked.
Gee, that's not much compared to all the other fines, is it?
It's not much.
I was surprised. I thought it would be more.
I can make it more for you.
There you go.
So, I can customise a ticket or something.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, well, that's a good warning for everyone out there anyway, Well, thanks a lot for that. Obviously, you got the health and the road safety aspect because your vehicle overweight is dangerous,
It is a big safety issue. So I've had a look at the crashes since 2020 up to mid-May. And one of the highest cause of caravan crashes where the caravan's at fault is that the tow vehicle and or caravan loses control. So when they get out of control when towing, you've got pretty much 5 tonne plus going down the road out of control. It's a recipe for disaster. We need to really get the message out there that drivers have the responsibility on the road that they're in charge of this vehicle and the tow vehicle. It's their responsibility to make sure they are compliant with the road rules. And they do obey all the other road rules. It's not only for their safety, but the safety of every other road user as well.
Well, thanks a lot for that.
No worries at all. Too easy.
Give us a stay awesome.
Stay awesome, guys.
That's the name of the channel.
Oh, there you go.
Stay
easy.
awesome van life.
Right,
see you on
no
it.
Thanks,
Thank you for that. Okay, guys, they've got the police here for the weight check. That might be worth watching.
Somewhere within my reach. So the auto nature of towing a caravan, it's all to do with caravan and car weights, also to do with towing equipment, and also to do with safe driving practices and things you need to know when you're on the road. And that's what it's all about. It's all about road safety. The concept Caravan in Queensland started about 4 years ago, and it's just about giving you that knowledge to make sure that you're going to remain safe on the road. Just a quick little background to the three of us. So my business is WEIGHTCHECK. So we're a mobile weighing service. So we come to your house, weigh your car and your caravan on site. We provide you with a 3-page report, which we then sit down with you and explain to you all those terminologies. I'm going to go through them today. But basically, when you hook these two things together, you've got 6 weight compliances or metrics that you've got to comply with. And to be legal under the law, you've got to comply with all those 6 weight metrics. So I look after the Sunshine Coast and Brisbane. I've got a business partner, a franchise in Toowoomba, the Darling Downs, another one at the Gold Coast, and if there's anyone here from the Northern Territory, we've also got one up the Northern Territory now. So it's all about helping you get that information easily, but also helping you understand it all, because you need to be compliant in all 6 of those weight metrics. Gary.
Thanks, Dave. So my name's Gary Gardner. I now own and operate a business called Total Towing Setups. So my business is there to get your car set up ready to tow your caravan.
So I represent up here in Queensland the Get About and training services all the way to Sydney, also Towed is their brand name. My little region at the moment is Port Macquarie right through Mackay up to Toowoomba. So I get about a little bit and see a fair bit on the road. But what is training? It's only information, isn't it? Towing course. No one. Why not? So it looks like we've got to encourage Mr. Brett, make sure the police make this a requirement for licence, so they do it. How do we encourage you to do a towing course, folks?
Righto. So what we're going to talk about is a number of weights. When we join these two vehicles together, we've now got 6 weight compliances that we've got to comply with. 6 weight metrics, as we call them. So to be legal under the eyes of the law, you need to have that underweight and that underweight, but there's 6 of those weights that you need to tick the box on. If this car has a ball tyre, it's deemed under the law to be unroadworthy. If that's overweight, it's unroadworthy. We need to make sure that we tick in all those 6 boxes. If we can tick 5, the one that's going to let you down, the one you're probably going to get into trouble for. So, give you a quick couple of statistics. This last 12 months, 31% of the cars I weighed were overweight, 42% of the caravans. Pretty much everyone from there over there, you've all got an overweight caravan, you people have. It's a bit scary when you see 100 people sitting down here and thinking nearly half of you have an overweight caravan. It's all fixable, that's fixable, that's fixable, it's how you manage it. It's where you need to get it right from the start. So we've got a BT50 here, my BT50. The first one we're going to look at is called brake towing capacity, BTC. So Mazda, when they build this vehicle, they say I can legally tow 3,500 kilos behind it, 3.5 tonne. So that'd be a caravan, a horse float, a trailer, a boat, anything like that, anything I tow behind the car. So I'm allowed to tow 3,500 kilos. Mazda also say I can have 10% of that weight on my tow bar. So I'm allowed to have 350 kilos of tow ball download weight on the tow bar. How is tow ball download weight measured? If we disconnected the car from the caravan here, we put a tow ball scale under the hitch at the same height it sits on the car, and we measure gas.
Any of your European cars, so your Audi, BMW, Mercedes, VW, those sorts of tow vehicles, they generally have a good towing capacity, but their ball weight figure, instead of being 10% like the Mazda is, their ball weight figure is normally about 5%. So a VW Transporter, believe it or not, a fairly common tow vehicle, can tow 2,000 kilos, but the Transporter can only have 100 kilos of ball weight. So you put that into perspective, I weigh more than 100 kilos. So if I stand on the back of that tow bar, it's technically overloaded. It's illegal.
Next one we're going to talk about gross vehicle mass, GVM. So Mazda told me that when I fully load this car, it can have a maximum weight of 3,200 kilos, 3.2 tonne. As you can see, I've got a bull bar on it. I've got a canopy. Bull bar's about 90 kilos. This canopy's about 180 kilos. All my gear that goes in it, it is a heavy car when I put all my stuff in it. The other thing, it's got 90 litres of diesel. Everything I put into this car weighs something. Mazda tell me I can't exceed 3,200 kilos fully loaded. Okay, these are all standard as it comes out of the factory. There's things like GDM upgrades and all that. We're not getting into that, but we're going to talk about the standard weights. So put this into perspective a little bit. Let's just say we weigh the car and it weighs 2,800 kilos. So I'm 400 kilos underweight. Just sitting here on the scales, no one in it. Then my two partners in crime here, we decided to do a boys' weekend. Let's go, boys, we're going to head up to the Sunshine Coast. So the three of us jump in. So there's another 60 kilos each for us three. It's 360 or 18, probably more like 100 kilos. That one, gentleman, I forget that gentleman price, he laughed at it. So realistically speaking, there's 100 kilos. There's 300 kilos going in there. So we were 2,800 kilos. We now weigh. We were 2,800. The three of us in it. We're now at 3,100 kilos. Beauty, we made it. We're 100 kilos underweight. Then what happens? Oh, we haven't introduced Delta yet. Delta. This is Delta.
So this time last year, we got involved with CIL RV and Caravan RV insurance.
When we hook Delta on to the car, whatever the measured ball weight is of the tow hitch here, that now becomes part of the gross vehicle mass of the car. So we're at 3,100 with us three in it. Put the total scale under here, and I can tell you Delta's got a ball weight right at the moment of around about 200 kilos. So we were 31, Delta's attached, we're now 3,200 kilos. Guess what? We're overweight by 100 kilos. Under the eyes of the law, we're unroadworthy. We can now talk to Brett, our police officer down there. Actually, if you've got any inquiries about what's going on with the Queensland Police Service as far as, we've all seen it on Facebook, yeah? Yep, have a talk to Brett. He's the officer that's running. Delta's compliance plates in the front boot. Sometimes they're on the drawbar. A lot of caravans these days have a boot there, they'll be in there. Some of them these days are even on the cabinetry inside the door. So the compliance plate has quite a number of ratings or allowances on it. It'll tell you what size tyres it's got, a few other things. The ones I want to talk about are all weight related, obviously. So on Delta's car compliance plate, the first one is the tear weight. So tear weight is the last stage of manufacture. When Delta was built, they dragged her out of the factory and they ran her over a weigh bridge. The awning was on it, fridge is in there, mattresses in it, had two water tanks but they were both empty. It had two gas bottles on it, they were both empty. But basically everything's bolted on it, ready for you to pick it up and go home and load it up with your gear. So when Delta was manufactured, she weighed 1,780 kilos, completely empty, ready to go away. And I think she's still not
really close. Yeah, within a couple of kilos.
Yeah. So 1,780 kilos completely empty. So that's the empty weight. The next two are loaded weights. So in other words, once we start putting water in this caravan, all our gear that goes in our caravan, in trucking terms, gross weight usually means the overall weight of a truck. In caravan terms, we call it gross trailer mass. So GTM is what the caravan manufacturer says is the maximum allowable weight you can have on those 4 tyres or 2 axles when the caravan's fully loaded. So caravan manufacturer says maximum GTM, gross trailer mass, 1,970 kilos when you put all your stuff in the caravan, load it up, fill the water tanks, put the gas bottles on, away we go. There's a technical term for all the gear that we put in caravans, it's called stuff. We chuck stuff in it, okay? So water's included, pots, pans, knives, forks. So that's gross trailer mass. Before I was talking about the towable weight up there, so we've got to include that somehow. So the next one is aggregate trailer mass. So ATM, best way to describe ATM is throw a big net over Delta, load her up, pick it up in a crane. We want to weigh that caravan. So the maximum weight Delta can weigh when she's fully loaded is 2,180 kilos. So that includes the weight on the 4 wheels, but it also includes the weight on the tow bar. So we would disconnect the car here, put that towable scale in underneath the tow hitch, we'll have a scale under there, the jockey wheel will be off the ground, we'll weigh those 4 wheels. Those 4 wheel weights, plus the weight on the tow ball, adds up to the aggregate trailer mass, which cannot exceed 2,180 kilos. Think about the tear weight and the ATM. Unloaded, loaded, take that away from that, that's about how much stuff you can put in your caravan. 1,780, 2180 takes 1780 away, 400 kilos we're allowed to put in. You want a bigger payload as you can, because believe me, you will put a lot of weight in it. Everything weighs something as it goes in there. You'll put 20 kilos of food in the fridge, right, without putting a slab of beer in and all that sort of stuff. Right, so where are we at, boys? We've got everything going here. Okay, got that. So far we've got 5 compliances. We've got 1 to go yet, but we'll keep going with you, Jeffrey.
Slab of beer one.
Beer. Lucky last. This one relates to the car. So, gross combination mass is what Mazda tell me this car can weigh when you combine it with something behind it. Gross combination, total weight of car and trailer, boat, horse load, caravan. So anyone got 200 series Land Cruiser? There'll be a few people here. Yep.
Yes, now their hands go up.
Yeah. No, don't like your Jeeps. So I use Land Cruiser. They're really good numbers to work with. So just going back to mine can tow 3,500 kilos, okay? Land Cruiser can tow exactly the same, 3,500 kilos. Land Cruiser gross vehicle mass, the weight the car can weigh in the standard configuration, is 3,350. At 3,350 to 3,500, you get 6,850, and that's what the gross combination mass of a Land Cruiser is. Gaz went to Banyo State High School, excelled in maths. Get your fingers out,
I
Gaz.
excelled so well, I've still got to use fingers.
So my car can tow 3,500 kilos.
Yep.
My car can weigh 3,200 kilos. Using the Land Cruiser's way it works.
Yep.
What does my GCN work out to?
Well, the Land Cruiser can be 6,850.
Correct.
1 plus 1 equals 2. Yeah. Well, that's what I went to school anyway. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Dave's down steering towards these dual cab utes. In the case of dual cab ute world, so we're talking your BT50s, your Rangers, what else? D-Max,
D-Max.
most of those dual cab utes, 1 plus 1 doesn't equal 2. So in the case of Dave's BT50, you can see the towing capacity is 3,500 kilos. The vehicle can weigh 3,200 kilos, so you would assume, same as a Land Cruiser, put those two numbers together, it equals 6,700 kilos. So you assume your BT50 can be the same. As Jeff's pointing out there, the gross combination mass on this BT50 isn't 6,700 kilos, it's only 6,000 kilos. When you're towing, should your car weigh more than your van, or your van weigh more than your car? For maximum stability and control, your car should always weigh more than your van does, particularly in dual cab utes, because they are inherently less stable on the road. Just the way they're built, there's more weight over the rear than there is over the front than there is over the rear. So then what they're really saying is, believe it or not, most of us are running probably very close to our GVM on our motor vehicle just all day, every day. By the time you put a bull bar, roof racks, some drawers in the back of your wagon, maybe a fridge in the back of the wagon, a lot of us are really close to our GVM as it is. Then we add tow ball weight, so we're probably right on our gross vehicle mass. So in a roundabout kind of way, these dual cab utes, they're forcing you, because you're not going to unbolt your bull bar or your winch or your roof racks and stuff, you're going to stay on there all the time. So when it's fully loaded all the time, they're forcing you to then tow a vehicle or a van that weighs less than your car. And there's a magic number. For best stability, we're looking for about
Minimum 20%.
about 20% heavier in your car compared to your caravan.
All these weights, by the way, if you do, it is confusing, and this is part of the process we go through when we weigh someone's car and caravan. Up at my stand at the back there is an information sheet on all those weights. Grab one as you go out, it's a black sheet there. So,
Well, I hope you enjoyed that weight compliance lecture. That went on for a fair amount of time. I truncated a lot of it, so not all the information's in there, but gee, there's enough there for you to get a bit of an idea. And there's all the links and everything and all the contact information throughout the video. Want to get in contact with the guys if you need anything for your weight compliance, or for your towing capacity, or for some towing training. There it is.
Hey you, stay awesome. Gotta stay awesome with the van. Hey you, stay awesome. Gotta stay awesome with the van. Hey, my name is Gary, and I'm the man with the freaking van. Got to stay awesome van.